Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sound Podcast, the place where everything but silent. I'm host Isaiah, and we're back to talk Big Brother 26. I'm here with one of my co-hosts, Janelle. Janelle, how are you doing on this fine Friday?
I am so happy it's Friday. It's been a wild, insane week and first eviction for this season. I'm excited. Loving it. The cast is giving. They're wacky. They're insane, making questionable choices. Like, it's just been awesome, Isaiah.
And, over here we love chaos, so there's nothing wrong with that. That's nothing but great. But hopefully, our audience enjoys chaos as well because we're going to break it all down here. If you are liking what you're hearing, if you're going to be sticking with us this season, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps us with the algorithm. And if you're listening on this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that fun stuff, make sure you rate it 5 stars, but 5 stars only. We're going to get into it. So obviously there's a whole lot that's been going on. And per our previous podcast, like we said, we plan on doing rankings on Fridays. So we're going to do our first official tier list, basically putting how we feel everyone's doing game wise, and we're going to just break down how everyone's doing in our perspectives, talk about the feeds and all that fun stuff. And I listen, I have the perfect person here with me because I know Janelle is a serial feedster, so that helps us out.
Yes, I'm loving it. Feeds have been giving, like really, truly. Like I said, this first week has been insane. And hey, Valencia in the comments.
Shout out Valencia. But we might as well get to it. Um, Here is the screen. Actually, you know what? We can be up here. Let's be up here today. All right. So we have a whole lot of people to break down. We can some longer than the others. But obviously we can start off here with Mr. Matt, first player eliminated. Uh, Janelle, how do you feel about Matt overall? Because I know that you have mixed feelings about him in his game and everything. Obviously, a couple of days have passed by since we spoke on Monday. What's your final synopsis on Matt as a player?
So for Matt, I think Matt is genuinely a nice person. I think that the only reason Matt ended up in the situation that he was in, meaning on the block, is because Matt couldn't just sit and be quiet for a week. He was, going after the HOH, actively plotting against her, holding meetings in the storage room. Wait, I don't think it was aggressive at all. That was my perception. Angela has a different one, but he did threaten her. He threw out Takora's name, he threw out Joseph's name. I think that he has a lot to do with the position that he ended up being in. Angela and all her wackiness, I don't agree with some of the personal things that she said about him. I wish she would have kept it strictly to game, but I don't think he was some poor woe is me type victim in this situation. A lot of the things that he did contributed to the situation that he ended up in. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Matt. I've seen some of his exit press, like genuinely seems like a nice person. He really does. So I can't say a bad word about him except I think that he came in too hot and heavy. Angela is wacky, but I think that he contributed to the position that he was in.
Well, listen, as a character, as a person, I was all for Matt just for the pure chaos that him and Angela brought. I think it's unfortunate that we're going to miss out on the potential of an all-time duo of rivalry with like
Right.
Angela and Matt. That could have been one for the Bucks. Fortunately, we're not going to get that. As a player, though, he was so bad. He was so bad. Obviously, the storage room, as you said, the speaking a little bit too much, spending way too much time with Mackenzie, so on and
Yes.
so forth. So I think he was a little doomed here, as well as just like not being able to like really get his footing in the game and get people to really want to work with him. Um, it is unfortunate for the season because as from what I've been seeing, the vibe is a little bit different than when he was in because it was a little bit more eccentric. There was a lot more going on all day. Obviously, like as a
Hmm.
character, he will be missed. As a player, wasn't really given much. So
Right.
Matt is our first boot here, but I guess we can continue on to our first HOH who is finally finished. Angela. Angela, what a week for Angela. Obviously, very chaotic as a HOH. She continues on with this list of chaotic first HOHs with HOHitis.
Yes,
She's in the range of like a Frenchie for sure. And
yes,
and I see like it's crazy. It's like right here, Daniel Durson, all that stuff. She just lost it, and
absolutely.
even like on the feeds or the edited show, it's just plain as day to see that even though she was really like pressed about like what Matt said, I don't think like all right, host a house meeting if you really want to do that, cool, right? But don't throw out all the people right that you were just getting offered this huge alliance to and just
Mhm.
like throw them under the bus because you think that they're like lying to you. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah,
she just had a tragic meltdown, and obviously it was so fun for us, but as a player, it was so bad. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But
Yes.
um, how do you feel about her, Janelle?
Same. Angela, at first, I think she came into the house. We saw her on night one introducing herself, so excited, so vigorated to play this game. She said it was her dream come true. She was super excited. And I think her energy had other people really wanting to work with her. But as soon as she got that power, as soon as she started thinking and watching, the paranoia just seeped in. And it really, really, really got the best of her. She had so many opportunities to get set up with a solid alliance, a real alliance that wanted to bring her in. But unfortunately for her, she ruined it. She exposed it. She blew it up. She thought they were all playing her. She thought they were all acting with zero evidence, like nothing to back it up. So I don't know what got into her. I she needs to chill somewhere. That's what she needs to do. She needs to sit somewhere and be quiet for the entire week because she's already talking about she's willing to confront anybody that she needs to. So she needs to sit down. And I don't foresee this getting better for her because people just don't want to work with that type of unpredictable energy. I'm not about to confide in you when you can't keep
Mhm.
your mouth closed. As soon as you get an inkling of something that ain't real, you're going to blow up our game or my game, you know? So I don't know how long she's going to last. I hear the target this week is Lisa, but that is not going to be up to the current HOH. So we shall see.
So, just also for people watching this at a later time, we did actually get the nomination results, like literally right when we went live. So we'll get to them when we get to Chelsea. Spoiler alert: Chelsea's HOH. But Angela, she dodged being nominated as well, right?
No, she's up there.
Thank you. All right. So with that being said, that helps my ranking plenty. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, there's the when you're hit rock bottom, the direction is up. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely am. If you have a different feeling, let me know. I would put Angela at an F. I think she's playing the worst game in the house right now, personally,
Mhm.
and it could fix itself. But to go from HOH offered Power Alliance after Power Alliance and throw it all under the bus because of Matt's crazy eyes just to go on the block the next week, that's insane, So I will play I will put her at F. But where would you rank her?
Yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't argue with that at all because she did this to herself. She literally did this on her own. So yeah, no
Yes.
circumstances came in and ruined anything. She just, I don't know.
She was
She's
just
just
doing a whole
cracking.
lot, okay?
Yes, yes.
Great character though. Let's move on to our people that survived. So let's talk about Chemo. How do you
Okay.
feel about Chemo?
I love Chemo. I like his spirit. I like his energy. He does know this game. He's a fan of the show. I think when he came into the house, he was a little quiet, a little reserved, as we often see super fans do. He kind of sat and watched and observed a lot. And I think that might have gotten him a little bit on Angela's radar because she didn't believe he had anybody. She said she was nominating people that don't have anybody around them. But he got put on the block. A lot of people came to him to comfort him. A lot of people really, really liked Chemo. And as the week went on, we saw people rallying for Chemo over and over and over again, saying, I'm not going to vote Chemo out. I'm not going to vote Chemo out. So he was in a really good position and he wasn't going to go home no matter if he sat next to Matt or if he sat next to Kenny. So I think he's playing a great game. I think that he's starting to get into some solid alliances with some good players and some people that I foresee being loyal. So I'm giving Chemo, like, if I had to place him, I'd place him at the middle of the road. I think he's like smack dab in the middle. As long as he
I'm
keeps with his numbers, as long as he keeps doing what he's doing, he has a lot of, like, you saw how they celebrated when he won the AI comp. They were
right.
elated for him, most of those people. That's just an example of how well he's playing his social game.
And you know what? I agree with you, and I'm going to put him C. I think coming into this week, even when we saw him, even before he got nominated, um, I'm like, Chemo is one of those players that if you let him slip through the cracks, he has the potential to do some major damage. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think he's in the position to do anything just yet.
Right.
But him surviving that week, seeing the house's reaction to him winning the AI competition, him integrating himself with like making bonds with other people. He has a he has a some kind of working relationship with Quinn, correct? I believe.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Takor.
and
Yeah,
Takora.
and Tucker.
Um, a lot of people. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So he's working his social game. I think it give him 2 more weeks, and he might be able to get him in the house's great graces, and he could probably attack later down the road. But right now, I think he's doing solid work. Obviously, he's not in any kind of power position.
Right.
But what are you gonna do? Benjamin said Chelsea using Angel as a pawn makes no sense. After Kenny, we will get to Chelsea because she is our new HOH. But let's talk about the other person, Janelle, that just
Kenny,
survived in Kenny.
F, F, F. He's
Yeah.
tried to leave multiple times. When he got on the block against Matt, it was game over. Oh, I can't go. He met this man a week ago. I can't go against my boy Matt. That's my boy. I can't. Did not even include Kenny in his major alliance. Matt was trying to get Kenny out of the house, and Kenny is falling on the sword for Matt, for said person that was just trying to get him out. He was pissed that he didn't go home over Matt. He told Quinn that they are, what did he call them? He said they are evil, or he told Quinn something about the other house guests for not voting him out. He has volunteered to go on the block. Isaiah, I don't even like. He seems like a nice person. He seems to love his
Oh
wife.
God.
I heard him in the house. It seems like he's struggling socially to really integrate himself with the other castmates that are significantly younger than him. A lot of them, like he could be Cedric's father, right? But
Yeah.
I just no. I don't like. I've never played this game. I don't know how hard it is, and I imagine it's way harder than any of us fans imagine. And he said it's different than he thought it was going to be. Maybe not as easy as he thought it was going to be. But no, F. No, he has no like fight in him, and I can't respect that.
I always wonder, like, why do people go on these shows and like not know what they're signing up for? Like, you obviously took off of work for this, or like you did something to step away from and put your life on pause, to step away from all that, to come into the house and just to not know what you sign up for is crazy, right? Like this is a 3 month pressure cooker. This is a whole lot, and I had high hopes for Kenny. I didn't think he was going to play well because, again, like older players don't do that well. But I was like, on a good day, like I could see like a Cliff Hog trajectory, and on a bad day, I said Summer is Steve 2020, Big Brother 20 Steve, basically. And I was like, maybe there's a chance he could slip through something, but I just Kenny, man, like I think any chance of him gaining any sort of respect for me kind of went out the door when he was just like willing to go home for Matt, and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, I'm here for the chaos. I think Kenny is gonna bring more fights this week. I see Kenny being chaotic, and I'm okay with that as a viewer because I love the mess. But as a fan, as a someone who wants to go in the house and everything else, I'm just like, bro, like, what are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I have an amazing life back home. I want Matt to stay. Like, bro, like, come on, let's be real. You know,
You
so
had an amazing life before you came to the show. And like I
exactly,
said, I'm highlighting that I think this game is harder than we imagine, and any of us that
absolutely.
go in are gonna be like, ooh, like like I'm sure it's a lot. So I try to have sympathy in that avenue, but like everybody else that's feeling overwhelmed or fighting it out. You know what I mean? We have thousands of players that felt overwhelmed, thought it was a lot, and still fought. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's where Kenny belongs. I
Yes.
don't want him to go this week because he could be a perpetual pawn for people for that third nominee. I'm hoping Lisa goes personally, but yeah, he needs an F.
Okay. All right. Kenny's on the block too, correct?
Correct.
So I mean, we're about to get to Chelsea, so you might as well break it down. So how? So obviously, going into this week, Chelsea was looking pretty well, actually.
Hmm.
Now she's HOH. I haven't seen any of the feeds since yesterday.
Okay.
How is Chelsea's HOH looking, Janelle, right now?
Well, I think she's been playing a fantastic game overall. She was downgraded, and that didn't stop her from working, building social relationships, talking to people, socializing with people, and I think it's paying off now for her as HOH. But I thought she was doing great. Like she's calm, she has a really approachable personality. Everybody seems to talk to her with ease. Had everybody coming up to her HOH. Her initial plans were Angela, Kenny, Lisa. And I really like how she sat down with MJ or Mackenzie and was really able to get her to admit to her that she has that power. And for Mackenzie to explain that power to her, and also for Mackenzie to say, I don't plan on using it unless it's on me. I was like, get it, Chelsea. Like I liked what I was seeing from her. I got a little worried right before noms were going to happen because she was talking to Mackenzie and Leah. She was talking about pawning Cam or Cedric. And I'm like, what? No, 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 no. Because people are already talking about Cam and Cedric's social game and how they're a threat and how Cam could win and how Cam's nope, they will vote him out. Did you not see what just happened to Matt? So I was like, there's no way she could be serious. And I didn't really know because I'm only listening to that conversation. I didn't get a Cam talk. But our good girl did not let us down. She made the nominations of Angela, Kenny, Lisa. She did not pawn her close allies of Cam and Cedric, for which I am so relieved because I was like about to question everything I thought about her if she really did that. Like, what, Chelsea? So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. She really, really played up Leah and Mackenzie, talking about she wants to work with them. So I think she's doing great work for herself so far this week. I'm really happy with what I'm seeing from her.
Right, and so I will say, when I saw she was HOH, I'm like, Chelsea, you did not need to win this. Like, I think that when you're a player like that, where everyone wants to work with you, just sit back and relax, But it all depends on how she uses it this week. I think there's no problem with winning an HOH this early because there's just like such a blank canvas, especially after last week's HOH. Like you can really do anything; it's a clean slate. So I think this is a pretty good HOH to win. I don't think she could leave this week with a lot of blood on her hands unless like a power
Right,
comes into play, you
right.
know. Let's look at some of these comments because there's a whole lot of Chelsea won by accident
She
apparently
did.
in the
I was
H.
about to say that.
That's crazy.
After two questions. Yes, she wanted to bow out and throw to Takor, is what I believe. But Leah was still in there. Leah's been in these comps close each time. So she's like, I can't fall out and let Leah do this. So she stayed in and then won.
Right. And
So,
then also Joseph, he's saying that she basically nuked MJ's power because let's see, because if she puts up MJ, who does American nominate? So
I don't
that
know.
is
And
also
that is
very
the
interesting.
scary part. That's the scary part because I run some Facebook fan groups. So I
Yeah.
see the temperature of the Facebookers who are more casual, right? And they hate Angela's life.
Wow.
Hate Angela's life, and they feel so incredibly sorry for poor. I mean, they're talking about starting GoFundMe's for Matt.
Wow.
Insane, right? So the people that I think would be likely to get nominated from America are already on the block. So I don't know what would happen if MJ's power got put into play because I don't know who they would nominate. If Angela was off the block, it would be perfect to do that. It'd be perfect for MJ to use her power. But
Mhm.
otherwise, I like out of all these people, I have no clue. No clue.
All right. So where do we want to put Chelsea? Because there's a whole lot of question marks with this HOH. Obviously, like I said last week was the Matt and Angela show, so we didn't get to see into the minds of a lot of these other people. So there's a whole lot of optimism here. But where were you leaning for putting Chelsea, Janelle?
A. That's where I personally would
Really?
put her. Yes.
Okay.
A or B. B at the lowest
I was going to put
because
her B.
she's considerably better than Chemo as far as her position and the avenue she has to play this game. I think she's doing great. I haven't seen her do, and I've listened to her game talks. I've listened to her perspective. I think she has a ton of potential. She could just keep it together, keep her numbers. So I'd
Mhm.
give her an A or a B.
I would. So, spoiler alert. Actually, you know what? I was gonna say the highest I was gonna go for someone is B, but
Right.
I saw that we put Chemo in C, so I will actually, yeah, I'm with that. So Chelsea A, she might be the highest person. There's only maybe like one other person for me personally.
Mhm.
I want to see how you feel. There's only one other person that I might consider putting that high, but I don't think anyone's like blatantly running the game right now. It's a very fluid
Correct.
game
I
still.
agree.
So, all right, so we might as well move on to a couple of other people. Let's get an interesting group. So let's get the two guys that just volunteer themselves up on the block
Hmm.
that are actually working with Chelsea, and you could throw Takora in there as well. So let's talk about him. So what's the vibe with Cam, Janelle?
Cam. Cam is doing great. I think Cam's biggest weakness is his lack of knowledge of this game. He does not seem like a big fan. He doesn't seem to have watched a lot of the show. And I think that's a little bit of a negative. However, Cam is like socially top tier. He talks to everybody, he socializes with everybody. He has a very like disarming personality that you could be comfortable talking with. I see him talking with almost everybody. Seems to be pretty compassionate to check in on people. I like what Cam's doing. Now I'm a little worried about this volunteering to be a pawn. That got me a little, Cam, but I don't know. Chelsea didn't do it. Maybe she was blowing fluff up Mackenzie and Leah's butt, but I don't know. I truly don't know. It could have been a whole ploy. But I like what Cam's doing. If he can keep with his group, I feel like he's going to be around for a while, and people are already talking about the threat that is Cam. So if I'm
Yeah.
ranking Cam, I'm sticking, he's definitely in a better position than Chemo. I'm sticking him at B. I just want to see some more social or some more strategic prowess from Cam, honestly.
We can put him low B, high C. I was thinking about putting him at top of C. We could drop him down depending on. I want to see how many more people we put on here. But for now, low C. I mean low B. I think Cam, as you said, is good socially because that's the strength. He isn't familiar with the show. He's a regular person. You know what I'm saying? So, when you're not thinking game, and you're just thinking like, oh, I'm just living in the house, like that's always going to work out. Um,
Right. Yeah.
I am, as you said, worried because we did see some chatter from people like Quinn and Takor this week
Yes.
that like they're starting to look at him, which and we'll get to Takor in a second. But Quinn specifically, that might pose a little bit of a threat because I do think Quinn is very capable of causing damage.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we'll get to him when we get to him. But yeah, I do like what I see from Cam. I don't see him going anytime soon unless someone is feeling like Angela and wants to be chaotic for another week. Like you can't really cut anything out with this cast. But I'm with the B for now. I could drop him this week. We'll see.
I could see that too. I
Um,
wouldn't argue.
yeah. And let's get to Takor. So I like Takor. I think that she's solid. She was somewhat included in a couple alliances this week, but she also seemed like an outsider, especially from how you guys were describing it up back on Monday. Obviously, it's been days since then.
Yeah.
I don't like that she's throwing Cam's name out there. I think that that's a big mistake. Um, this is my theory, and obviously, like you said earlier, we're not in the house. We've never played it, so we don't know. I truly do feel like, from a black perspective, right? I don't think in Big Brother, in Survivor, in Trader, in most of these shows, most people have the courage to like put a black person's name out there unless another black person gives them the green light. And I feel like if you watch a lot of previous seasons of Survivor, Big Brother last year as well, like a lot of these seasons, like even Jared, a lot of people weren't even going to touch Jared outside of like what Corey, up until like Felicia and Nicole like said something. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I feel like once you give them the green light to come after them, they're like, oh, they're not like doing a cookout type. I'm like, let's get them out of here. And then it's a domino effect. Like you'll see them drop one by one by one, and that's what we saw last season. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about that because I do think Takor is fine. I'm not going to say she's in a great spot. I think she's fine because no one's openly like, oh, we need to get Takor out of here. But
Right.
I also don't see her as anyone's like important, like up in levels of importance to like we need to protect Takor. Like if she goes, I feel like they would just like let him go. Like you saw Matt. They were like, I like Matt, but like I need to protect myself. So if he goes, whatever. I feel the same with Takor, So she definitely needs to do a little bit more work, get a lot more closer in more concrete allies, and she'll be fine. But I'll right now, low C for me, could drop to a D. Could drop
Okay.
to a D. How do you feel?
I think that Takor started off slowly, like we said earlier in the week, but she's really in tight with Chemo, and that's bringing in Quinn. Who else is in that foursome? There's one more person. Might be Joseph, might be Tucker, but
I think it was Joseph.
yeah. But she's really got integrated with some people that I think
Mm-hmm.
definitely are gonna want her around. I can't see her being her name was thrown out. I just think for maybe for how reserved her personality is, but slowly and surely more and more people like Takor. Like she spent a lot of time with Leah, checking on Mackenzie after the whole blind side of Matt, right? I like what she does. I like how she plays the game. I like her strategic mind. I think she's comfortable with Cam, Chelsea, and Cedric. I see
Mm-hmm.
how sometimes she would speak to some people and she'd get a lot of mm-hms. But when she talks to Cam, Cedric, Chelsea, it's a lot more fluid. She's a lot more open. She's comfortable with them. You can see the difference for when she's cool and not cool with people, or more or less comfortable with people. You could tell immediately. I think she's talking about Cam, and I even heard her bring up Chelsea to, I believe, Chemo, about how they're threats and how they're gonna have to go at some point, and on and on
Yeah,
and
I'm worried
on.
about that.
Yeah, and you're right. We've seen in these shows, especially Survivor, for me anyway. Once you start voting them out, they just start falling. So I think that she should meet more so try to be aligned with them too, as well as her other connections, and not necessarily be easily throwing their names out at this, like it's week one, you know? Like I can't see them putting her out there. They don't talk about her in that way. So I agree with you. I don't think that's the best strategy for her right now. Align with the people you want to be closely aligned with, but like don't put them on the radar just yet, especially if they're not a threat to you. I could see if they were throwing her name out or she felt like they were an immediate threat, but I think having them in the game is more beneficial for her than not. So I agree with you on that. I would put her at a C, but
Hey, I said C. You
you
said
did.
C. She had a C. So let's put her there. You said high C though. I said low C.
No, I would
I'm
put
gonna
her
go
at
with your.
a C.
You said
At a
what?
C. It doesn't have to be a high C, just at a C.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So let's move on to Cedric. What's the survival Cedric, Janelle?
That kid, I don't know if I could be around his energy all the time. He's like he's 21. But he's fine as far as the game goes. He's very tight with Chelsea and Takor. I think his strategy is going to be trash, though, honestly. I don't know how great I believe his strategic mind is going to be or how he's going to contribute to strategic gameplay. I need to see a little bit more from him in that regard. But socially, he's great. I think the only person that has a problem with him is Quinn. It's Quinn, and I am not exactly
Oh,
sure
boy.
why, but Quinn is turning into something I don't even know. But I'm worried for him if Quinn uses his power. That's all I can say. I'm putting Cedric at a C or D. I really don't care which one. But I think socially he's great. A lot of people like him. A lot of people want to pull him in. Not many people
Right.
are talking about getting him out. So that's all good. But he has people looking at him. And I don't think Quinn likes him.
I'm with you with C. Where specifically in C do you think we should put him?
Right behind the core.
There you go. I like Cedric. I think he's
Me
fine.
too.
The problem with him in Quinn, I think, for more petty reasons, I don't have much else to throw in there because there's not much to work with. But I think
Right.
the reason Quinn doesn't like him deep down is because of Leah. I think he has a little crush on Leah or whatever. And
Oh.
Cedric and Leah seem like they're like friendly as well. You know what I'm saying? And he
And
seems like the jealous type.
yeah, Leah is friendly with lots.
Yeah. So there's something there. But there you go. All right. Let's go to the rival. Go to Quinn, Janelle.
Quinn has an insane power right now. Insane power. I think his idea, I know you like it, but I think his idea of usurping his own HOH is idiotic. I think that's a waste. But he's starting to he's starting to look at people that I like, and I don't like that too much. And that may, I'm honest with
Okay.
how I feel, that might cloud my judgment a little bit. But I think Quinn is doing great socially. I think he was idiotic to tell Angela, of all people, about his power. Who has told Chelsea she has the power? He has the power. I don't think Chelsea believes her, but she did tell Chelsea that Quinn has that power. I
Yeah.
think strategically he has a good mind. I think he's a true fan of the show. And I think he can do some damage because he's already planting seeds about the three C's. He don't like Cedric. Like, I'd probably put him at a C, honestly. He's got some solid relationships like Chemo and Takor, Joseph, Tucker. He really does. And I don't see anybody targeting him. I don't see anybody bringing up his name. Angela needs to get people to believe that he has the true power, but there's nothing they could do about it. He could do, he's going to use it. He's going to use it. So Quinn gets a C from me as well. And I don't like what he's doing. So,
We're gonna have to put him at B because this is the other person that I was tying with Chelsea for A. So we're
okay.
gonna put him at B.
Sounds
I
good.
will put him at an A for sure. I think personally, Quinn might be playing the best game in the house currently. It's only
Mm,
week one, but I think he is a very dangerous player socially and strategically. I
mm-hmm.
think that broken ass power that is up there with the coup d'etat for like what the hell are you guys thinking
Right.
is insane. But production, what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
But I think Quinn is like a better version of Matt Turner. Like I think like
Okay.
if Turner was like strategic and like made his own decisions, this is what he would be. And I think
Okay.
Turner obviously made it far because people vibed with him and they felt like they could control him. Quinn actually has opinions. He actually, obviously, he's only week one, but he actually takes initiative. Obviously, he tried to form this huge alliance. Angela did what she did and it effed everything up, but he's adjusting very quickly.
Yeah.
I like this little collective that he has coming together. With Takor and Chemo and Joseph, I think it's really nice.
Yeah.
And also, the reason why I was going to put him over Chelsea is because both Chelsea and Quinn are working with Takor, and Takor ratted, she's throwing people in Chelsea's alliance out to the wolves to quit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the little leg up, but like they're pretty much like neck and neck for me right now. I do think Quinn's playing the best game right now, though. That obviously we've seen he's a little emotional behind the scenes, not outwardly, but like he seems a lot like a little emotional or whatever. So I can see him rubbing someone the wrong way at some point. We'll have to see how that goes.
And
But
he
for now, it's good.
let me excuse me, let me add, he has a thing for Leah, right? Like you mentioned. And
Yeah.
he told her all these negative perceptions about Leah that people in the house have that nobody said to Leah. She's been on a little bit of a warpath today in that regard. He just stirring the pot, which I think he's going to thrive in chaos. Honestly, he said he wants to work with emotional players. I think because he feels like he can take advantage of it, and I think he's activating all that craziness.
Right. Okay. Speaking of Leah, do you know what's going on with Leah?
Listen, Leah is a social butterfly. She's has a very like flirty personality. She's a very much want to be the center of attention personality, takes over conversations. I personally do not connect with Leah in any way, shape, or form. I don't find her funny, and the fandom seems to love her. Like when I read about her, people like her. I don't get it, honestly. I don't get it. I don't like how she talks game. I don't like her perspective on the game. She's just not a player for me. But she's doing well. Even though she was on the wrong side of the vote this week, it doesn't seem to necessarily have hurt her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'd personally put her at a D, but she's not in any trouble. I don't think she's on anybody's radar. Chelsea did consider her, but she didn't want to upset anybody else in her alliance. And I think she ultimately made the right call because Leah has come pretty close in some of these competitions. I foresee her winning eventually. So Leah for me would be at a C or D, in between there somewhere. But
Question. I'm
I'm
so
not
sorry.
feeling her though. Sorry, I'm not feeling her though as a player. I don't know.
Is it true? You basically took most of the words out of my mouth. Is this legit? Like Mackenzie and Leah, they're like this, or is that
Yeah,
a hoax? Okay.
yeah, yeah. They're
Um.
tight.
Yeah. So she's going down with the ship right now. It's very interesting. But like as you said, I don't think anyone's thinking of her, which
Right,
is you would like to think it's a positive.
right.
But Annalise from BB21 wasn't targeted until Jerry either. I don't think Meg from 17 was targeted for a while. There's just like these certain people that are just so non-threatening that
Mm,
people are just like, oh, like they're here until we get them out of here.
and I think that's
So
Leah. Yeah,
exactly. So I'm gonna put her at high D, could be a C, but she just doesn't have influence right now. So we're gonna put her there. Sorry, my brother texted me. Let's go to her friend Mackenzie.
so she confuses me because she said even to Chelsea today, like I realized I was alienating myself a little bit with Matt. So then why'd you do it? Like I strategically, it may have been the right choice to share this power. I don't know, that's debatable. I guess it's all a matter of who you're talking to, but it kept her off the block, I feel like. And I feel like it potentially could keep her off the block for the next couple of weeks because as an HOH, I'd be nervous as to who America was going to put on the block because they have no idea what the perception is at home, right? And that takes a little bit of my power away as HOH. What if they put up one of my best allies and the house takes the opportunity to take that ally out, whether, against me or just because that person is a threat? So it may save her till jewelry, honestly, because people might not want to mess around with it or they could want to flush it. So, but I think that with Chelsea specifically, it saved her from being a potential nom. I'd give her a
Right.
D because she knowingly made choices that had people looking at her. I respect the fact that she didn't use her power on Matt and she saved it for herself. She also told Chelsea she would not use it on anybody else but herself. So I'd still give her a D. I think she just needs to, I don't know how secure her position is, but it could be a lot more secure because of that power. So I'm still putting her at a D.
I'm gonna put her low D too, basically edging F, but not yet. She's around. I don't think anyone's thinking about her. I think she would really need an HOH to really like get some kind of footing into the game right now because
Mm-hmm.
Matt really like her and Matt just put themselves in this corner that did not help their position.
Right.
But the question to you is anyone really looking out for Mackenzie outside of Leah? Like, does anyone really care about Mackenzie right now in the house?
No, not to my knowledge. I don't think anybody's
And there
gonna
you
stick
go.
their they're gonna stick their neck out for Mackenzie. I can't see that happening at this point in the game.
The only thing that's helping her is like this veto. But as I said in the chat earlier, Benjamin and Joseph, it's like that might just not matter at the end of the day if certain people get put on the block. So for now, low D, barely missing that for me. Let's move on to Joseph, who was a lot better than I thought he was. How
Yes.
was Joseph doing?
I like Joseph. I really like his game talk. Like to me, he handled Angela, even though Angela didn't receive it, that's because she's Angela. But of what I've seen him like talk Angela down, like reassure Angela, I like how he moves. He kind of pumped the brakes a lot after Angela had some crazy accusations and he was honestly fearful of being put up, and rightfully so, even though it was not justified. Any other rational player never would have gone there with him. He kind of pumped the brakes a little bit out of that fear. But I think he has the social and strategic chops to really, really do well this season. I want to see like where he's at after another week or two. He definitely has some solid connections with like Tucker, Chemo, to core, you know? So I like Joseph and I'm really rooting for him to do well. I'd put him at a C easy.
Uh,
Or even a B, I don't
I,
care, but a C definitely. No
I was
lower
gonna
than.
do B, but let's do C. I like Joseph a lot. I think he's really good. This is a super high B, barely missing B. Sorry, super high C, barely missing B. My only thing is like I think he is so tight with the people he's tight with. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really see him working with like the other side of the house like that, and it's fine for now, right?
Yeah.
But when it gets down to it, and they're thinking about like, oh, which side we need to go after, they're going to look at him, because like Takor, he's cool with people on that side. Obviously, I think Quinn has the social game to try to keep himself safe for certain aspects. Joseph is very gamey, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
eventually that persona is going to be out there. And a perfect example, think of Big Brother 17. I love going to that season because this season I think is a lot like Big Brother 17 in terms of the personalities and a lot of the strategy. I think it's going to come down to two sides at some point. And I think Joseph would be in like this Jackie position. If you watch Big Brother 17, I made you watch that.
Who's the
He
winner of
would he
that
might
one?
Steve Moses.
No, never
This is
saw
the
it.
Vanessa season. This is the Vanessa
Oh,
season.
okay, okay. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Sorry.
But there was a side for those who aren't familiar with it, at like Jackie, James, Meg, Becky, and all those people, and he could easily be like a Jackie Becky who it's like, I'm trying to play the game, like let's go, and everyone's gonna be like, you're obviously the threat, let's get you out of here. This is all speculation at the end of the day. Obviously,
Right.
we don't have much to work with. It's only been 1 week, but I could see him standing out as a threat at some point because they have to see what we're seeing. I just think that they're not going after him right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Joseph. He has a lot of potential.
Yes, he
Let's
even
move.
like he even told like his I even liked his advice to Chelsea. Like he's comfortable with her too. He likes Chelsea.
Yeah,
But he told Chelsea he wouldn't put Angela up. He's like, you're doing their dirty work. Let them win and let them put her up. You know what I mean? That she's a target,
exactly.
which I completely agreed with and saw his perspective. I also understand Chelsea's here, so it could have went either way for me. But yeah, I like Joseph. He gets the right crew. He's gonna be solid for a while.
I think he can easily move up, but we'll see.
Yes.
And then Tucker. Tucker is still playing solo with a couple of bonds, right?
Yeah, Tucker. I've never in my life met a human like Tucker. Like I never have. He's so funny, so unpredictable. Like I said earlier in the week, his one-sided hate for people is so fun to me because it's that silly, goofy, oh, I can't stand her. He was like, you think if we put a trail of glitter to the front door, Lisa would walk out? Like he's just I just really, really enjoy him. And I think he's doing great socially. It doesn't seem like anybody's threatened by him or his game. A lot of people, nobody's looking at him to get him out of the house, and I don't know how seriously they take Tucker, which really, really, really could work for him. I don't think he's some strategic mastermind by any means. I don't think he's as like I'd probably stick him at D, honestly, but I love Tucker. Like I enjoy Tucker and I want Tucker to be around for a very long time because I just imagine him stirring up drama and eventually he's going to say something to these people. And he's
I love
cracking
the
on the
shade.
core.
He needs more TV time, honestly, because I need like
Yeah.
a Tucker shit talk segment. It's pretty
Yeah.
great to watch. I think it's hilarious. As a player, I'm very unsure, but I feel like people
Right.
aren't worried about him because he's just like doing Tucker, you know. And
Right.
I think
Exactly.
he's the type of player that will get his footing around jury time. He's not really
Hmm.
doing much, and honestly, that's oddly enough not that bad right now because there's so much going on. He's just able to just like kind of stay out the way and just be himself, you know.
Right.
So I'm very curious to see how he does because I haven't seen this in a while. Like he's definitely going like Dolo right now, and I'm just not used to it. But in this era of we need to make big alliances and steamroll, like he's not doing it. So I'm very interested. Also, I think it's interesting. There's not really like a big group really running this season, which I'm very happy about, by the way, because of Angela blowing it up in seconds. It makes me
Right.
very happy. But Tucker, I totally forgot. We got to rank him. I'm just like Chemo. I would put him like middle of the crop. Like this is like a C tier pick for me, if you ask me.
That's fine with me.
Okay. I will put him here. It doesn't have any allies, but I like Tucker, and I do feel like there's something coming up for him. Like, and give him a
Me.
couple weeks, he could do something. Um, got three people left.
Agree,
What's
Joseph.
going on with Brooklyn?
Brooklyn, she does better than I thought. Like I think that she hasn't emerged as like this super player. She's not a terrible player. Socially, she's fine. I like her personality. I like the way she talks. I like how she communicates and speaks with people. She's included in a lot. Like when people are figuring out who they want to work with or who they want to align with, Brooklyn is often brought up. I think just because she has such a calming energy, she's friendly energy. Um, she was like, if you get a player like Matt on the block, you don't keep him in the game. So I don't think we've gotten a chance to see what she can do strategically just yet. But I feel good about her being around for some time. Like I can't imagine anybody at this point targeting Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can say about
I
her.
oh no, you're good. And where would you put her? I think I missed that.
In the middle, or yeah, in the middle, because she's fine. Like she's
Okay.
doing like yeah,
I was thinking like as Joseph said in the chat, low B, high C.
that's fine. Yeah,
I'm gonna be with that. I'm gonna put her with Joseph, but behind Joseph. I like Brooklyn too. I This is another person. I'm not gonna say solo, but like I could see her self interest peaking a little bit. Like she's gonna play for herself.
yes, I think so
Obviously
too.
people vibe with her, but she's not in a situation yet that she's been battle tested because Angela has been like the perfect shield for everyone. You know, like
Yes,
this is why C tier is so flooded because a lot of these people who have a lot of potential didn't have to do much because Angela
right,
did everything for them, you know?
right,
So
absolutely.
very interesting player. I think her and Joseph have a lot of potential. And I want to see how she does, but don't have much else to say about her there.
Yep.
Um Rubina.
Rubina, I like Rubina too. I think that I find her very similar to Brooklyn as far as placement in the game and how people are seeing them as a player. Do you know? Like, she's great socially. She gets along with everybody. I like how she communicates and how she talks with people. I like her approach. She's a fun, silly personality. She's a little spicy. Like, I like her. I like her. I have nothing bad to say about her. Like many of these players, because of how chaotic last week was and how destabilizing Angela was to the structure, or like alliances really solidifying, she's also a middle of the roader for me. Like, I need to see some more to like move
Mm-hmm.
her up and down, do you know?
Right. Yeah, she's very neutral. I'm with you there. Lisa's probably like not that, and we'll get to her in a second. But this is probably the last C tier that I'm gonna give.
Yeah.
I like Rubina. I'm gonna put her next to Tucker. I don't think she has a lot
Natalie.
going on. Natalie, you're crazy. Rubina and Tucker showmates is crazy. But yeah, she another one. Like, I'm not gonna say blank canvas, but like didn't have to do much. We didn't see much. Obviously, she was involved with like the big alliance that got blown up in seconds. People just like
Mhm.
her, and she knows she's just doing her. Kind of like
Yeah.
Cam a little bit. Like her and him feel the same because they're just like kind of just like vibing. It's like you don't have to do much in the game, just vibing, and that's it for that. And last we got Lisa. I'm going to put Lisa. I F or D. I gotta put her in F, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I
She
gotta put her in F.
I am not a fan of, like, she would be a player that I would avoid. She would be
Yeah.
somebody that I can't, like, her personality would not vibe with mine. I can fake it till I make it, but she's very unique, very strange, very sure of what she believes the truth is when it ain't. Like, I don't like how she approaches the game. I don't like she went to Angela and she told Angela that she does not want to associate herself with Angela in or outside of the game. Even if that's true, why are you telling people that? You could be on the block next week and need Angela's vote. You never, ever, ever, ever know in this game. That's why I really respect Sari, because she's able to, like, if somebody she can't stand, somebody she had game beef with, personal beef with, when need be, she could put that mess aside and work with somebody. I don't think Lisa can do that. And I think that she's saying things and doing things that's going to make it impossible for her to do that. I don't like her gameplay. I don't think she's about to be strategic. I think she's a little delusional as far as her own game abilities. Seems like a nice person, seems like a compassionate person. Game wise, no. Mm-mm. I actually want her to go. Like, out of before Angela is perfectly fine with me. Like, goodbye, Lisa. Get out. Take
Yeah.
your fairy
Yeah.
dust and go.
Well, Lisa was like most obviously like a recruit here. I could tell with the intro package, she's like a celebrity chef or whatever,
Mhm.
or sorry, chef for celebrities. Let me get that straight. But like I said with some like person like Cam, there's just a regular person living in the house, and Lisa is living playing the game like how she lives. She's just like not into you. She's going to say it, and
Mhm.
you know that it is what it is. I don't think Lisa cares what happens in or outside the house as long as she's here for the money. And her telling Angela, I don't want to be associated with you outside the house was like a preview for me of like how she's about to operate this season.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think she's the house target right now. I think people want Lisa gone. But what are you going to do? I'm pissed Tucker off talking about his cooking or whatever. We're tired of the edible glitter, Lisa. No more edible
Mhm.
glitter.
Yep.
But
Everybody's tired of
um,
Lisa. Like, honestly, like, she'll leave a room and they'll just all roll their eyes. Like,
yeah, yeah,
she is not, just socially, she's not picking up on the cues. I don't think nobody's sticking their neck out for Lisa. I can't see many people, including Lisa, in much at all. Like, honestly, I think that she's going her ride, unless something wild happens. Her ride for the next couple of weeks, if she's not in power herself, I see her being at the bottom and nominated multiple more times if she doesn't go home.
all right. But there you go. So that's our ranking for this week. Having Chelsea, her and HOH at the top, and Kenny at the bottom. So that is today's. Oh, I'm so sorry, Janelle. I just took you off the screen.
Okay.
Where which one is it? Oh my god, there you go. That is our podcast for today, guys. So thank you so much for joining us. We love how active you guys are in the chat and everything. And for anyone who's watching us at a later time, like I said, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us with everything. We want to hear your opinions. If you want to continue following with us, you can follow us at silent_podcast or silent podcast at all social medias. We are on all Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that fun stuff. Like 5 stars only if you like what you're hearing. If not, just don't rank at all and wait till you hear something that you do, and all that other fun stuff. Janelle, thank you so
Yeah.
much for grinding this out with me per usual. Where can people find you?
I am just Janelle Michaud on everything: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can find me tweeting all my thoughts as this crazy cast keeps moving forward. I'm having fun interacting with everybody on Twitter, so follow me, join the conversation.
And
Also, we will be talking to Matt on Monday morning.
there you
So
go.
look out for that interview to be released. If you have any fun, interesting questions, you haven't seen any, buddy, ask him as of yet that you're curious about at me, Isaiah Silent Podcast, and we'll see if we can get that answered.
Okay. And like usual, you can find me at 8 Ball Bangers and everything. We're here again every single Monday at 8 o'clock talking about our midweek update. And then every Friday at 7:30 just to break down and do a ranking like we did here on all the players. And like she said, make sure you tap in on Monday for our extra interviews with each player every single week. Also, I am podcasting on Silent Podcast, Survivor Philly. We're doing extra interviews for that, as well as breakdowns with my friend Rowan from season 3. So you can go check that out. Amazing premiere episode. It was top notch. I helped with filming, so of course it's going to be amazing. Yeah, but make sure you check that out. We filmed it and it was a great time. Great feedback so far. So check that out. But until next time, have a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.